The time has come to hand the keys back to Aston Martin. We have arrived back. The car is a little bit dirty. I've done my best to look after it, but we did have one day of pretty torrential rain. The F1 edition Aston Martin Vantage is still here, but take a look at this under natural light. A military olive satin green DBX 707 parked in front of the front door to tease me. I cannot wait to get my hands on this car and experience it with some hot tarmac, hopefully some hot weather, and get out onto some European roads to drive this car, because this is a whole nother level. Yes guys, what is up? Welcome to Supercars of London, back behind the wheel of an Aston Martin DBX. If you look carefully, you'll realise that this is not the same one that I had on my UK road trip from Aston Martin HQ. Yep, this one has got a pan roof. That is because I've collected this car from Aston Martin Hatfield to bring you guys the ultimate living with the Aston Martin entry-level SUV. Now that is because on the final day of the UK road trip, where I had to drop the satin silver car back to Aston Martin, I had a 3.5 hour drive back down from Yorkshire to Gaydon. And that morning I'd filmed the Magnitude Finance video taking Tim Marlowe out in the DBX onto some beautiful Yorkshire country roads. So I'd actually burnt through the majority of my GoPro battery before I'd even embarked on the 3.5 hour drive back to deliver the DBX back to Aston Martin. So here we are, driving a completely different Aston Martin DBX with quite a similar spec. And I want to give you my well-rounded views and experiences with the Aston Martin SUV, before in the next video you'll join me in Sardinia driving DBX 707. Oh my god, the sun has come out and it is now warm. This place is not real. Aston Martin focused 95% of their R&D into building the ultimate handling SUV, and they achieved that. However, in the 7 days that I had the car, I only needed the sports car maybe 2 to 5% of the time. The other 95% of the time I was on dual carriageways, I was on motorways, I was under blue sky and sunshine, I was in the rain. I experienced every road the UK had to throw at me, and also the weather that the UK is capable of producing during the sort of springtime. So I'm just pulling onto this motorway and coming around the corner. The sports car element of this car is very, very good. I was very complimentary when I took it out onto the country roads. It felt like a low-slung sports car, kind of like a heavy Vantage, a DB11, a Bentley Continental GT, RS7, that kind of dynamic from an SUV-shaped car. I felt like Aston Martin either forgot to actually think about what you need day to day in a luxury car, because this infotainment system is shocking. This isn't a touchscreen here. It barely works. And actually all of this is from Mercedes around 7 years ago. So if you're spending 170 grand on a car, you at least want the up-to-date tech, which is why the Bentayga and the Lamborghini Urus are so popular. So it really frustrated me, this. My car didn't have a pan roof, so it felt quite dark inside. It didn't have automatic head windscreen wipers, which meant that on the motorway I was having to manually operate them based on how much rain was coming on the windscreen, which frustrated me considering the car was 160, 170 grand. It had the old USB ports, which meant that my iPhone cables weren't able to plug in. Therefore, throughout the day, my Apple phone was just draining in battery. All of these tiny little things that added up to make a big difference. And I actually got to the end of the drive and was driving it back to Gaydon, quite frustrated that a car so expensive had so many little problems that actually became quite a big problem. Because from the outside, the car's beautiful. Aston Martin will always make beautiful cars, and to drive, it's very, very nice. It's relaxing, it's quite elegant, it's smooth. It's not stupid power that you feel like you're going to be going over the speed limit within 2 to 3 seconds. But then we go on to the real problem the Aston Martin DBX faced, and that's the way they priced it. And then when you realise what it's going up against and the market share it's trying to grab, which is the Lamborghini Urus, you realise this car really has no chance. So this morning I did a little bit of math. I went onto Auto Trader to have a look at used car prices on DBX versus Lamborghini Urus. So the cheapest DBX on Auto Trader is 18 months old, done 5,000 miles. It's up for 140 grand. The list price is around 170. So you can take that and say that the car has lost 30 grand over 18 months. If you find the equivalent Lamborghini Urus for sale, 18 months old, done 5,000 miles, the car is priced at £245,000, but the list price would have been between 180 and 190,000 pounds, which means that car has made 50 to 55,000 pounds. Now, even if the Aston Martin didn't have these interior infotainment problems and frustrations, the fact that a Lamborghini Urus can make the owner in excess of 40 to 50,000 pounds just by placing the order at the right time and then doing 5,000 miles in, it's an 80 grand difference. You either buy an Aston Martin DBX and lose 30 grand, or go and buy a Lamborghini Urus and make 40. Make 30, worst case scenario. The Aston Martin never stood a chance. I don't know whether Mercedes are stopping Aston Martin from using it, or whether Aston Martin are refusing to pay for the most up-to-date Mercedes infotainment system. Whatever the situation is, Aston Martin need to figure this out, because they won't sell cars whilst it's like this, because no customer will go to Bentley, Lamborghini, Mercedes, and then Aston Martin and pick this car, because for so much of the time you're not using it as a sports car on B roads. Probably not how I expected the video to turn, probably not how you expected the video to turn. I'm going to find this really interesting to watch back, and I hopefully haven't been too critical on the car. But when you have like 3 fundamental parts that make driving easy for you, Apple CarPlay is 100% one of them. Intuitive buttons is another one, and then a bunch of automated systems like automatic lights, which yes, this car has, but automatic windscreen wipers, things that the car does for you to make you not have to think about them. And these 3 things don't exist on the DBX, but yet they still charge nearly 200 grand for it. Anyway, we are now back at Aston Martin Hatfield. I've had this car for approximately 30 minutes. Let me know whether you feel like I'm being too harsh on the DBX, or whether you feel like, if you've been in the DBX, whether I'm right on a few things. I know Sam and Tony agree with me, and actually speaking to a few other people on DBX 707 Drive in Sardinia, we all kind of realised this car has the same problems, whether you think they're a personal opinion or not. It's a strange car that feels unfinished. Can't wait to see what they do in the next DBX, even after 707. But I'm just excited to see what they do to this interior, because the moment that this changes, Aston Martin will properly start selling cars. I'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you soon for the next video, DBX 707 in Sardinia. Oh no!